Working on the Porsche 928, one of the most common spots for the transmission, the automatic transmissions to leak, is this guy right here. This is the Bowden cable, and it has the cable down on the inside, which then actuates this arm right here for telling the transmission to kick down when you step on the gas. This has a simple O-ring on it, and while you do not need the valve body off to change it, or even the pan off to change it, this is one of the most common spots for it to leak. And it's that O-ring right there. Right there. So to change it, I've already disconnected the Bowden cable off the shift, or off the throttle quadrant up in the front, and you just pop this guy off. You then put on a new one. I prefer to use one that's slightly thicker in diameter, and I'll show you that in just a second. The other spot this likes to leak is where you have this guy, and you see that the cable goes up and onto there, like so. That section right there can leak as well. So what you want to do is pull that apart, and on this area here, wipe her all down, make sure the inside bore is fairly clean as well. And I like to put a little bit of the right stuff by Permatex on this before I put it back together, and that helps to prevent you from getting a leak after it sits without driving it for a few days. Okay, so there I have the new O-ring installed. I've got some of the great stuff, or the right stuff, in there, and this guy is ready to assemble. Now you can see the fitting here and how it looks, and then if I push up on that guy, you can see the little push rod. There's that little push rod right there, and that little arm hooks into there, and that's how that controls that. So I'm just going to put that together, and I'll snap another video. Okay, so now I have the cable attached on the inside. I have a helper who is pulling on the Bowden cable, so you can see that the arm is pushed like that, and you just have to wiggle this guy and kind of turn it to get it to go into position, and then once you get this down, you can then rotate it and it locks into place, and you're done on that. Okay, so that now is backing into place, and go ahead and pull the Bowden cable and release and pull and release, and there, having a helper move the cable up in the front, you can see that is there now connected. As I said, you put a little bit of the right stuff up in here and a new O-ring on there with some transmission assembly lube or assembly goo, so that way it is nicely lubricated when it goes in. And then the last item that you do want to do when you're doing this service is this hose right here. You can already see that there is a crack right there, and this hose just goes from the top of the reservoir into the support housing on the tail of the transmission, and it's just a little vent hose. But this little guy leaks all the time, so you want to replace this guy at the same time as doing that if you are having your transmission puke fluid when it's sitting for a long period of time.